Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. So in this video, we'll be checking out the Mi Watch color that I've got for a couple of days now. And this is going to be like a quick review of the Mi Watch color. And yes, I know that I've been really late to the video. There are so many other YouTubers out there that has done this video on the watch, but this is my personal take on the Mi Watch color. So without further ado, let's get into the watch review right away. Alright, first up, a quick intro on the Mi Watch color. This is Xiaomi's entry-level smartwatch and it costs about RMB 799 here in China, which is equivalent to US $115. It comes in a variety of colors, but I decided to go with the black just because it's my favorite color, and I think it looks great. Also, before we begin, it's worth pointing out that the Mi Watch color is more similar to a fitness band rather than a full-fledged smartwatch because it gives you all the fitness tracking features you'd expect, but it will not support voice calls or responding to notifications directly on the watch. Having said so, I've been using this watch for a couple of days now and I found quite a lot to like about it, so let's dive deeper into the Mi Watch color. Alright, as soon as I unboxed the Mi Watch color, the first impression that came to my mind was that the watch definitely looks and feels quite premium. It doesn't look like a cheap watch or as if it were some kind of toy here. I'm not exactly sure what the materials are being used for the size of the watch especially, but it feels like some kind of metal or aluminum that is cool to the touch. I've actually knocked the watch by accident a couple of times and fortunately there haven't been any scratches yet. The straps comes in many colors and are made in silicone as you can see here. I'd say they're not the softest or most flexible, but it does feel comfortable on my hand. Overall, the watch doesn't feel too heavy and feels really nicely built. The only issue I have here that affects build quality are the two side buttons. So the top button acts as a home button and the lower one is a shortcut key that you can program to quick launch any app. I must say both buttons felt mushy to press and doesn't come with a solid click. In fact, both buttons don't feel the same level of mushiness when pressing, giving me the impression that there might be some issues with quality assurance here. So in my case, the top button felt more mushy than the lower one. Definitely not a deal breaker, but just somewhat disappointed that these buttons were not properly built considering you do press them a lot on a daily basis. Moving on, let's talk about that display. Now the 1.39-inch AMOLED display on the Mi Watch color is pretty large in size and is amazing to look at. The entire watch display looks pretty huge at first glance, but note that the AMOLED panel does not fill up the entire watch front surface. There is a black round strip that goes around the display that makes the display look larger than it is. So think of it as some kind of a bezel, but it is barely visible if you set a dark wallpaper. You'll only see it if you set a very colorful wallpaper, but this doesn't really bother me at all. On that note, there are tons of wallpapers that you can download on the MiWare app for the watch. Some are pretty cartoonish, but I found at least 10 good ones out there that I actually like. So fun fact, you can store up to 20 different watch faces locally on your Mi Watch color. For comparison, you can only store 3 locally on the Amazfit GTS, so how cool is that? Back onto the display, one tiny detail I found was that the curved glass on the entire watch surface gives the watch sort of a 3D-ish feature. So most smartwatches have a flat display with just 2D curves at the sides, but that's not the case here as the entire display on the Mi Watch color is curved, causing the display to kind of sit further within the watch, and I absolutely love this look. It's super cool and definitely makes swiping over the curved display nicer compared to the flat surface. Meanwhile, colors are super vibrant and contrast levels are great here as you would expect from an AMOLED panel. Brightness levels is also very strong and allows the watch to be visible even under very strong sunlight. However, one slight issue I did have when using the watch is that the raise to wake just isn't that sensitive. I'm not sure if this is faulty or perhaps it's just an issue with the motion detector, but I do remember having the same issue with the Mi Band for a couple of months back. So sometimes it works really well and sometimes it just won't wake no matter how I try to raise my hand. At certain times, I gave up twisting and raising my wrist and just pressed the button on the watch to wake the display. So I found this rather annoying and hopefully this issue is fixed in a future update. Overall, I would say that the display on the Mi Watch color is beautiful and great to look at, but I do hope Xiaomi comes out with a fix for the raise to wake function. Next, let's talk about user experience. So swiping down from the top brings out the notification center, and swiping up from below brings up your control center where you have access to quick shortcuts such as brightness levels, settings, and more. So swiping to the left or right, on the other hand, brings up widgets that gives you brief information that you can look at with a quick glance. These are really useful, but note that you cannot access these apps by tapping on the widgets itself. You'll have to enter the app drawer to enter this app specifically. To customize the layout of the widgets, you can do it in the MiWare app and I pretty like that. Now let's check out the app drawer. Pressing the top button launches the app drawer where you see a couple of apps pre-installed. You cannot add or delete apps to the watch as it does not run on Android Wear. So the tricky thing I found here is that you need to get used to the icons as there are no labels beneath them, but after using the watch for 2 or 3 days, I basically got a hang of it, so no big deal there. One thing I must mention is that navigating through the Mi Watch color is actually pretty smooth. There weren't any lags or delays here even when I go through the apps really quick, and that's definitely a good thing here. Moving on, let's talk about the fitness tracking capabilities of the Mi Watch color. So in terms of fitness tracking, the Mi Watch color tracks a couple of items that are pretty standard on other fitness bands. For starters, the Mi Watch color tracks up to 10 different kinds of activities, and this includes walking, running, cycling, swimming, and more. So the standard stuff that you would expect. During my course of testing, I noticed a slight issue where the step tracker was slightly off. So what I mean by this is that it shows a bit more steps on the watch compared to my phone, which I carry on myself. So I'm starting to wonder if this could be an old issue with Mi Bands where the band actually tracks steps even when you're traveling on transportation like buses and cars. However, I did try to test it when I'm on the bus, but couldn't get the issue to show, so I'm not sure what's really causing the slight error here. Having said so, I will definitely continue testing this watch further before I can conclude that the watch has any issues. Besides that, I noticed that the GPS performance on this watch is not the best. It takes a couple of seconds for the Mi Watch color to actually lock onto GPS, but once it did, it stayed locked on for good. So the GPS isn't bad here. It just takes a little while, so if you're fine with that, this shouldn't be an issue for you. So other than that, there is also the standard all-day heart rate monitor, which is pretty accurate because I cross-checked it with my blood pressure monitor. We also have the sleep tracking monitor that works pretty well as well. I've checked it and it actually detects the sleep that I'm getting, and it does so at a pretty accurate rate. Meanwhile, there are also stress levels that I can't tell whether or not it is accurate because so far I've not been getting very high stress levels. It also tracks your breathing exercises, so that's definitely good if you want something like that. So the good thing here is that you have access to a lot of information on the watch itself. This is pretty good because I can check out my statistics directly on my wrist, and if I need more info, then only will I need to check the Mi Wear app. Overall, the watch offers a lot of functions that provides you more information about your overall well-being, and I think that's great. Last but not least, let's talk about the battery life on the Mi Watch color. So this watch is advertised to be able to last up to 2 weeks on one single charge. Note that charging the watch from 0 to 100 takes about 2 hours, so that's not really too long. However, based on my personal use, I expect the watch to last slightly more than just 1 week at most. This really depends on your personal usage and whether or not you receive a lot of information, such as notifications in one single day. However, if you ask me, charging the watch once a week is perfectly fine to me so long as I don't have to charge it every other day. So in terms of battery life, I would give it a thumbs up here. Alright guys, at the end of the day, the Mi Watch color is still a fairly new smartwatch and isn't perfect. There are a couple of issues here such as the step counter miscalculation and raise to wake function that might be fixed in the future via software updates. However, apart from that, the Mi Watch color is a great looking smartwatch that is really well built. I really enjoyed how comfortable it felt on my hand as well as the beautiful display that shows me all those information. If you ask me, I'd say wait a couple more weeks and see if Xiaomi updates and fixes the issues I mentioned above before you make that purchase decision. With these issues fixed, the Mi Watch color might actually be way better than a lot of other Amazfit watches out there. Having said that, what do you guys think about the Mi Watch color? Is this something you're planning to buy? Let me know down in the comment section below and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!